Good evening, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good evening.
Wow, wonderful. I can hear you, sir. Wow, wow, wow. So good to hear your voice, sir. Welcome to the studio, sir. This is wonderful. Okay, everybody
Thank you
out
so
there
much.
following us on this conversation, we're ready to take a ride. Welcome, sir. Mr. Bello Ahmed, you're welcome to the studio. How's your day, sir?
We thank God fine. Went very well.
Wonderful. That's so good to hear, sir. So we're excited you're in the studio today. So we're just going to go right into the conversation because we have lost a lot of time. And I really apologize to those that are following the conversation online. So sorry for the technical issues, but thank God we are live right now. We can get ourselves. So I'm going to ask you first of all, sir, how has it been? How has it been being a father of three girls?
Hmm. Well, it's been interesting because it's a responsibility given by God, and it's not it's something that is put in your hands, and you know that you have to be responsible or responsive towards it. So it's been wonderful. It's been glorious. God has been helping us sincerely.
Wonderful, sir. I'm going to ask you, sir, how old are your girls?
The first one is going to be 18 by October.
Wow.
Why the second is 16
Whoa.
already, July 8th. Why the last one, she's 14. Okay, no, she's 13 already. 13 already by April.
So you
18,
have
16,
teenagers.
13. Yes,
Teenagers. I think that's a lot of
yes.
work. That's all your daughters are already teenagers. That's so nice, really
Yeah.
nice. Now, definitely, you've had a lot of experience. Your first daughter being 18 or going to 18 by October, that's a lot of experience. And
Oh,
based on your experience, do you think, I know you don't have a boy child or a son, but definitely you'll be able to like give a word or two. Do you think that raising a girl child is like different from raising a boy child? Or do you use the same method? Do you use the same tactics to raise a girl or and raise a boy child? Are they different tactics in raising a daughter and raising a son?
okay. From my perspective, being a teacher, we are generally parents to both boys and girls in school. So we've seen the difference between the two of them. And when we are growing up, our parents, groomed us almost alike, not knowing, not really identifying if there was any differential, except for certain peculiarity in kind of pinpointing to a particular circle on the female, and the male, like. But there was really no distinction while we were growing up. But uh, being working in an environment where you see both the male and the female, and you come to your own home and you see the female as well, you need to know that definitely there are various peculiarities. It can never be overemphasized because the girl child perceives from a point of view that the boy child do not perceive from. The sensitivity of a girl child is quite different from that of a boy child. The boy child all it knows is action. Anything that has to do with action is where it goes around. And the girl child is sensitive to talk, sensitive to look, sensitive to how you handle her, all of that talks around her. And being not the boy child is strong, is fearless, is bold.
Yeah.
The girl child can really, cow in if the occasion demands for her to cow in and all of that. So those peculiarities in terms of their behavioral patterns, their makeup system, their hormonal whatever, and all of that, you can't train them alike because if you do, you'll be insensitive to both sexes. All right. So
Okay.
for me, the girl child, you need definitely so much more, if I may put it that way, because she's faced with so many challenges, both in school, with mommy in the house, friends, and all of that, you discover that the training is a little different from the boy child. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. When
All right.
parenting a child, definitely there are certain areas that we should focus on in the development of a child. So, what
Yes.
aspects do you think parents should focus on in the development of their daughters? What aspects should they focus on?
Okay. Uh, for me, I think I think there should not be a proper focus. So it should be a total training. Total. Me, I don't have a boy child. I tend to train my children on all aspects. Domestication, even the work you say boys usually will do, they do them as well. Generator, working of the car, I make sure they are part of it. I won't say, okay, no, no. Cleaning the house, academic work, they are there. I'm surprised to know that my daughter, who's currently in university, she's studying mechanical engineering. She said she was going to study this when she was in primary school. That they want to become a mechanical engineer. But this is a boy. This is a boy's whatever. This is for men. When I saw that she was really at GS3, when she was picking her subject, I saw her picking at SS1. I said, no, pick this one. Pick for medicine. Said that they are mechanical engineer. I said, okay, go ahead. And today she got admission to read mechanical engineering, and she's there. So I really don't have a peculiar, thing in mind. Say, okay, I want my girl to be a total girl, a total child, spiritual, academical, physical, and otherwise. Okay, and I know the society tends to want to point on, okay, you after all everything you've done in life, you end up in the kitchen. Okay, you need to get one particular training so that you can help the family. And like, all of this should be all encompassing, not just basically streamlined to one direction. So I believe that the saying goes that what a man can do,
A
a
woman
woman
can do
can do it
better.
better. Yeah, so I believe in focusing on a particular aspect, while the other aspects tend to be weighing down. No, just do your best to see how you can go through all the areas and see and straighten the part that is weak and encourage the part that is strong in her in all totality. And I feel that at the end of the day, you get the best out of the girl child.
I like the idea of raising a total child, a total girl. It's very encompassing. Raise a total child, spiritual, academical, emotionally, socially. So we don't streamline development to just domestication, knowing how to do the chores,
Yeah.
knowing how to take care of the children, knowing how to wash the clothes. So it's an all-round development. And I think the target of every parent should be having a total daughter. And it's very key. I like the idea that your daughter is reading mechanical engineering. So there's really no gender-based course. A girl can do whatever course she wants to do in a higher institution. Congratulations, sir. That's so nice. Mechanical
Thank you very
engineering is
much.
a very most of the engineering courses. I remember when I was in school, you hardly find a female in mechanical engineering. Maybe you just see one or two. So that's really congratulations, sir. That's wonderful. So while we're growing up, there was this thing. It still happens today that certain parents try to lock up their daughters. They try to keep them in the house, restrict movement to the extreme. You don't have to go out.
Yeah.
You just have to stay at home. And I think most parents do that because they have the mentality that if my girl or my daughter is in the house, she will not be corrupted. She will not be influenced
Yeah.
negatively. She will not pick up vices. She will turn out to be an exceptional daughter. But I want to find out what's your take on that, sir? Does locking up our daughters in the home, doing it to the extreme, does it really produce exceptionality in our daughters?
Well, first of all, one should understand that because of recent happenings and the vulnerability of the girl child, a lot of parents are careful. It's not that they are trying to cage these children, it's just being careful in order for them not to become victims of predators and other vices that is going all around. But I believe that whatever you want to do in life as a parent, you should put a balance. You shouldn't just
Okay.
do it because of fear is a torment. Even under your roof, caging them, things can still happen without your knowing, you know? So you
True.
just have to have fear of God inside of you, believing that God is the one that takes care of them. But whatever protection you can give to them, in order not to become victims of certain issues pervading the society, you should put that in place as well. You know, your child is in school. School is a social environment. She mixes around with students. She comes back home. If you are living in a neighborhood that has a lot of, neighbors around, your child mixes up with the neighborhood. If you are living alone in a flat, definitely your child can go to the market, buy something, come back home, go to the chemist shop or pharmacy to buy whatever. The child should have that leverage of being able to go around, go to church, come back, and the likes. Now, if it has to do with your child visiting a friend, that is where the comma comes in. It must be a friend you know. It must be a friend that you are acquainted with. Possibly families know each other. And you should be able to have confidence and trust in your daughter. Haven't come to the age of accountability. All right. We live in a place that is quite far from, we live in DSC in Warri, and the place where we live, it's not too long we parked there, so we don't really have acquaintances around. So my children play amongst themselves. But once in a while we travel during holidays, we visit cousins, nephews, and all the likes, and they get to play around with them. So, like now, she's in school now, with her mates over there. She can't say the parents, she can't say she's being caged. You see, that word caging, comes from the fact that the children are revolting as to the extent to which want to, curtail them, and they feel that there's so much they can do, especially among themselves, that you don't want to really you don't want them to explore. And that exploration could be very, very, deceptive sometimes. So we must do all that we can do to protect our girl child. Very important. But in all that you do, create a balance. Let me give you an example. Yeah, I'm sure Dinah in the Bible, at one time or the other, must have complained of being kept alone with the brothers, being left alone. She's just there with Joseph and all, Reuben and all. And she wanted to just go around with the girls in the city and still feel what others are feeling. And I'm sure with her complaint and all, maybe the father said, okay, why not just give her that room? The brothers may have said, no, I don't trust these people, and so forth. I'm just only insinuating. And she just said, father, okay. Maybe the mother pleaded and said, okay, let's allow her now. She's a girl, let her flow with her mates, yeah, yada, 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 yada. And she left one day, and before you knew it, Shechem, the son of the king of the town, saw her, loved her, and forced himself on her. And that thing pained the brothers so much because they had warned that this girl shouldn't be allowed. And we know the consequence of that action. All the male in that city were killed. So we see some of these things happening. If when Absalom heard that the sister was going to visit Amnon with his behavior, because he asked the sister, have you been with that guy, with my brother Amnon? She said yes. That means there was something subtle about Amnon that he knew about. But it was the command came from the father that he should go and give something to the brother to eat who was sick. In that subtlety, she went, and we knew what came out of that, and we knew what happened to the lineage of David, the wars that happened in the house of David, all because of all this. So the girl child needs to be protected, especially from these various machinations around and all the likes like that. So it's not caging. The girl child comes to know that my father loves me, my mother loves me, and my parents want the best for me. And you don't do this without explaining to them of your actions. You tell them what is going around. They see pictures, they watch videos, they see what's going on. So when you tell them alongside of what is happening now, why you are doing what you are doing, many of them come to be conscious of the fact that it's not that I'm being caged, it's the fact that my daddy loves me, my mommy loves me, and they are protecting me from danger. That is why. So, one other thing you can do as a parent, maybe when your child is having a birthday and you just want to do a small, marking, you can tell her, invite your friends. I want your friends to come and join you in the celebration. Let them come and the friends may come. One thing I observe is that even the friends, their parents do not allow them. Even the friends who are female, their parents do not allow them because they don't know the girl very well
Yes.
whom their daughter is to visit. If there are boys in the house, because some of these things happens from the brothers of the friends. So many things are happening and could be shielded, and before you knew it, so many things happens along the line. So when you let your girl child know all of this, she knows it's an act of love, not because my daddy just wants to lock me in the house, imprison me, and not make me talk to anybody. Don't have no, no, no. So I believe there should be a balance. You must balance it. You must allow your child flow freely in church, flow freely in school, in the neighborhood, to the extent to which they have acquaintance. They should flow freely with you giving warnings and other, having conversations of what is going on, so that there'll be check and balances. And as long as you have this rapport with your children, they can talk to you, they can relate with you. If they see anything that is not too right, they will get across to you and say, Daddy, so thing happened. Then you'll be able to say, okay, you see what I said the other time, I warned you the other time, look at what's going on. There you are able to put everything into check and balances. So that is what I feel about the issue of caging in quotes. Thank you.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, sir. I like what you said about parents should get to know their children's friends, because a lot of parents don't know the friends that children have. And it's very important because a young girl tells the mom, I'm going to visit my friend. And she says, okay, go, come back before 7 o'clock. And the mom may not necessarily know where the child is going to. So I think it's very important that parents should know the friends of their children. They should know them. Know them as when we say know them. Like you said, you can invite them to the house so you get to talk to them, have conversations with the friends. If possible, know their parents so that you know who your children are dealing with. Then I also like something else you said, that parents should be able to have a conversation with their children and explain to them why. Because most times when people don't have an understanding of a thing or the reason why something is being done, they tend to want to rebel. So I think one of the ways parents can help children is sit them down and explain to them, this is the reason why we do this is the reason why we do that. So that the children feel that the parents are trying to cage them, in quotes. So I think that's a very good explanation of that. There has to be a balance. Now I'm going to be asking questions based on something that is very important, and that's the self-esteem of our daughters. Self-esteem is so key. The way a girl sees herself, the way she carries herself, the confidence level of a girl. Now, when it comes to parenting, what level or what role does parenting contribute in building the self-esteem of a girl? What role does parenting contribute to build the self-esteem of a girl?
Well, self-esteem is a very, very important aspect of a girl child, because if she doesn't get it very early and be confident about herself, is going to affect a lot of issues concerning her life. You know, a girl ought to know that I am. I didn't just choose to become a girl. God made me a girl, and He has a purpose for my life. And the society cannot define me. The Word of God is what defines me. The Word of God says, I am beautifully and wonderfully made. And whatever I want in life, I can achieve it. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Um, with all that in mind, and you as a parent, you shouldn't, because you have a girl child. For example, I have girls, and I'll be complaining every day, if only I have a boy, this thing would have been done right, this other thing would have been done right, but there's no boy to do this, to do that. You are making them feel that they are inadequate. That means from the home, you're already building in them low self-esteem. They are not sufficient in themselves. Your girl child ought to know that I am complete,
Yes.
I am full, I am loaded, I can achieve to any height I want to attain. I can read to have a PhD. You know, I can set a mark and exceed my mark. I can break record. You know, nobody defines me. Social media does not define me. It's all I can define myself through the mirror of God's eyes. You, as a parent, you must put this every now and then in your children, and all of that will help them to know, you must applaud every of their strength in terms of they've gone through, academic, and the child just got good score, you did very well here. That is wonderful. The score you had very well, you can do better. This one you didn't do very well, but we can work on it. Look at what you do, look at what you do. All of that tends to build confidence and self-esteem in your child to know that I am I can do anything I want to do. But if you are as a father or as a mother, every time you blab, you talk down on them and all of that, oh my. If that thing is now being, worked on by other people outside, then you're going to have a depressed daughter. No, your child ought to raise up her head straight and walk shoulder, broad shoulder, knowing fully well that everything is for me, nothing is working against me, as opposed to what the society wants them to believe. So I feel that amongst all this, we help to build your child's self-esteem, confidence, to stand tall outside, knowing fully well that opportunities there's no pain and opportunity given to me. Any opportunity that comes, I come across that, I can always overcome it. I remember my child telling me that they put up an advert in school for scholarship. I said, okay. I didn't want her to go for the examination because I just don't bother. She said, Daddy, no, I want to go for it. I want to go for it. I want to write the exam. I knew she wanted to do that thing just for the examination, not because of the financial whatever that accrues to it. So I now told her also, I said, if at the end of the examination and all, I know they're going to ask questions. They want to find out from you if your father is capable of paying your fees and the likes. I said, tell them that your father can pay your fees. He can pay your fees. Don't tell them anything short of it, because that's one way people want to, get scholarship, because it was a school. It's more like a private university that was doing out the scholarship. She did the examination. She passed. They called them for an interview. So when they got to the interview, they were asking questions. Then they asked one guy question. They now asked my daughter, we can see from your records, academic records, you have done very well and the likes like that. Can your parents actually pay your fees? She said, yes, they can pay my fees. They said, why did you write the exam? I said, the exam was open for everybody to write. That's why I wrote it. So I was happy in myself that I didn't have to bring myself down because I wanted some money to come into so that I can scholarship. No, no, no. I can't. But she insisted that she wanted to write the exam like any other person. So she went ahead, and the confidence she had to even answer them in the panel. The VC looked at her and said, I like your confidence. I like this. If I didn't build that in her, she would have maybe she would have even shied away from writing the examination in the first place. So it is what you put in your child, that your child, when faced with certain opportunities or challenges, he or she will be able to put it out to say, no, I know that I have backings. I know that I'm coming from somewhere where they have my back. So all of that tends to help your child, knowing fully well that you yourself, you are there giving, you are there at the sides, applauding and giving all the accolades that is required for her to move on. So this is what I can say for now in this aspect.
Wow, wow. Applauds every strength of your child. Words are very key. Words are very key. And it's one thing we cannot overemphasize as parents because I believe that the words we say to our children have a lot of role to play in building their self-esteem. When you speak the right words to your daughters and not demeaning words, it builds their self-esteem. So parents, we need to applaud the strength of our children. And like Mr. Ahmed has said, whatever you put into your child, that is what they will bring out in the face of challenges. I think one other way we can build the esteem of our daughters is to praise, like you said, praise efforts. And someone said something that one way to build the self-esteem of girls is to allow them to work in teams, engage in team activities with people. So they get comfortable with being around people. So they don't just feel timid or shy. They feel like, okay, I don't belong. So I think that's one other way that can encourage them. And I think one other very key way is for parents to genuinely love their children. As in, love your child for who she is and not basically because of how she looks and what she weighs, her weight. You know, sometimes parents also focus on the looks of their daughters. You have to be beautiful, you have to be slim, you have to be this, you have to be that. And sometimes a lot of girls place so much emphasis on the outward appearance. And when they feel they do not measure up, it tends to affect their self esteem. Especially when you get into school and you feel like, oh, these are the girls that are the happening girls in school. I don't meet up to their standard based on looks. They tend to feel intimidated. So parents should be able to help their children to be comfortable in their own skin. Let a child know that I love myself. And a girl child that loves herself will have a healthy self-esteem, regardless of whoever she stands in front of. So I think there are a lot of things we can do as parents to build the self-esteem of our daughters. Now I'm going to move over to something that some parents shy away from, and they are clueless on how to talk to their daughters about, and that is sex education. Some parents don't know how to present sex education to their daughters. Um, Mr. Ahmed, I want to ask a question. Your children definitely they've undergone sex education, right? You already have teenagers, so definitely they would have undergone sex education.
Okay. Before I talk on this, I want to say something about the girl child validation. Um, the reason why you see on social media a lot of girls come up and to show their pictures, their body, on the likes like that, they go back to watch to read comments, what people say about them, people say what they said. Hey, you are looking beautiful, you are hot, you are this, you are that. Those validations tends to want to make them happy. And we have a lot of you know sites on the social media where they now have filters, where when you just come into it, the filters will make you look much more beautiful than your real self. And before you know it, you are always there, and you now become very, very addictive to such sites, so that you can always go there, take pictures, and all of that, like that. So, the girl child is one person that looks forward to validation, So which wherever she wants to get the validation, you see her always coming up to that particular area. One thing you must do, or we must do as parents, is to ensure that such validations comes from us first as parents. Whether you like it or not, your child will either look like you as a father or the mother. So if you don't like yourself, that is when you will not tell your child she's wonderful, you know. But one thing is that emphasis should not be placed on looks. You know, rather than saying you are fine, you are hot, no, you are smart, you are intelligent, you are glorious, you are wonderful, you are going places. You know, tell the child words that are more powerful than the physical beauty. The Bible says beauty is vain. If the child knows that I am smart, I am intelligent, I am wonderful, and somebody comes to tell her you are not beautiful, that smartness and intelligence overrides the others. You will tell your child you are beautiful. Your child just put on a lovely dress. Oh, this clothes looks good on you. Beautiful dress, beautiful. You're looking wonderful on this dress, and the like like that. Don't let your child come looking for validation from people. No. no. Discourage looking out for validation because that may lead one astray. But on your own, intermittently, without any form of invitation, just push it, pull it out. Let the child see, touch the child's face. You know, touch can be of help to know that I'm loved by my parents. I'm wonderful. Show the child from scriptures what God has said about her, what God expects of her, and all of that like that. It tends to build that confidence. That validation is very key. That's why some of them go, even while in school, they can be easily intimidated, easily bullied, and all of that like that because somebody said your face is not looking, your face is round, your face is this. No, all of that will not work for the child. So, about sex education, yes, there's more. These children know so much. We may think they don't know. They have heard. So you that is trying to hide, you are the one doing yourself a disfavor. So you have to come out open. Yes. Now, one thing I know that I usually tell them, these things are good. Sex is good. Having relationship is good. Building a family is good. It's not bad. The Bible says in the book of Hebrews chapter 12, for the joy that was set before him, sex is set before you. Marriage is set before you. Relationship is set before you. But he endured the cross. There's a process. That you're having feelings does not mean it should be executed now. Having feelings means that you are normal. You're a human being. You are growing. Your hormones are functional. It tends to know that you are not on the other side. Yes, these feelings are there. But these feelings is not to be, it's not for you to want to properly engage. It's not to be engaged. No. Allow them flow. There's other aspects of your life that needs to be engaged now, not that other side. Because those other sides, they are developing. They've not come to full maturity. Putting them into focus, attention, then exercising them will put you in danger because time and season, things are put in times and season. I give them about myself and their mom, how we got married, how God dealt with us, how we knew about God, our walk with God, all the likes like that. And I give them all this perspective. Yes, they will hear the other side from their schoolmate. They'll see some students even kiss in class. They'll see all that and they'll be wondering, why is my parents telling me not to do this? And I'm seeing people doing it. All of that. We have to make them understand the danger of what people are doing, the consequences of it, why you need to engage more of your intellect than your emotions. Because when you engage emotions, whereas the intellect ought to be playing now, you tend to mix things together before you know it begin to go down. All of that we tend to tell them, prayerfully believing for God to put his fear in their hearts, and God helping them, they will overcome. One thing we also do to our children is to engage them in giving them Christian, apart from literatures, they watch Christian movies like Mount Zion, because they tend to give you the pros and the cons of these things that is being done, and the hazard it has on the society, the consequences it has on the girl child. All of it, they see all the picture. Still believing God for the ultimate response to be that they fear God, they wait on God, and subsequently they arrive at the best of side. So they know it, they've heard it, they hear it from their mates, but we need to guide them. We need to guide them. Like, so for example, I see my daughter in school with the male folk and the likes like that. I don't just go bash on her and say, who is this person? What are you talking to the person? No, 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 no. They tend to tell me later, hey, daddy, this, da, 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 hey, mommy, this, da, da. They tend to say some of the things. And from there, because there's a place where your child gets into, you don't just do parenting like that. You do cooperative parenting. They will bring the topic. From the topic, you enter into them. Yes. They'll say something happening in school. Maybe somebody did something. From there, you enter into them. You tell them what can happen, this and that. So the cooperative parenting tends to even work much more than the force. Thou must do this, thou
Yes.
must do that. They'll just be looking at you and be hearing what you are saying. You know that you are not communicating. But when you do cooperative parenting, you don't just come out to just say this is what. No, allow the conversation will lead to that place one day. Even when you have it in your mind, and it's hot, 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 hot. You feel like pouring it out. You just wait until the opportune time. Then you can now unleash that. Then, because a conversation, they will want to listen, hear, and probably something may even come out of that conversation, which will even help you to explain more to them. So that's for me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. When it comes to sex education, a lot of parents feel that when you talk about sex education, the only thing you're talking about is the sexual intimacy. But sex education involves a whole lot. It has to do with the human sex anatomy, sexual reproduction, sexual transmitted disease, body, knowing their body parts, and the rest. And I believe that parents should start sex education early. Even as toddlers, they can know their body parts. You can imagine if our children know, for example, a toddler knows the name of the body parts, the child can express herself and tell you, okay, this is where, or this is where somebody touched me, and the rest and the rest. And I think parents should be bold enough to name body parts by the correct names. You know, sometimes we feel that there's some body parts that are sacred. So we're very like, we tend to want to use very tush names to cover them up. But I believe parents should be bold enough to, if we can call the eyes, then we should be able to call every body part by their respective names. It's very important. So we can actually start sex education early for our children. Sex education is based on the age and the maturity of the child, and it's an ongoing process. So you may start, a toddler needs to know this when they become preteens, what they need to know, when they become teenagers, what they need to know, what they become adults, what they need to know. So it's very key
Yeah.
that we do not shy away from educating our children on sex from in our homes. Our daughters should know. Like you said, they already know some things. They see things online, they watch movies, they have friends. So let's not shy away from the fact that they don't know. They know things. So it's better that they get the right information from us, the parents. It will really guide them. Now, I have whole lot of things to talk about, but I'm going to dwell on this finally. Parent-daughter conversations. You already touched it a bit when you talk about, what did you call it, cooperative parenting. How often should parents have conversations with their daughters, and how should these conversations be? Should it actually be like a monologue or a dialogue? Should it just be like, you do this, you do that? What is actually the role, or how important is parent-daughter conversations in homes? Because in some homes there are no conversations; they're just orders being dished out. There's no time when parents sit with their daughters and have a conversation. So how should these conversations go? How often should there be conversations between parents and daughters?
For me, I think first of all, there must be friendliness in the home. Yourself and your daughters must be friends. If you are not friends, if you are not cordial, if you are not, if they don't know you as one who can accommodate to whatever extent they can tell you, then there will be a problem. For example, your girl child is going through her menstrual flow. She can't tell you as a father, can't tell you as a mother. You just get to know that something is happening. That one is already wrong. It must start from there. Your child should be able to tell you when she's going through a time, you are there for her. When she wants to buy materials for that, you are aware. She knows she can be open to you. It must start from there. There must be that friendship. There must be that cordiality. There must be that father daughter, mother daughter relationship going on. There must be that explanation when they have needs. They want they want you to supply. If you don't have it, you explain to them, I can't do this now, but let's wait so and so time. If I have it, I'll make it available, and all the like. Those things must be there. That is when there can be a dialogue. You can't bring a dialogue where there have always been a monologue in terms of other areas. It can be when you want to talk on real issues. You now want to now have a dialogue. It will not. They will never be open. They can't open up and
True.
tell you things. It's not possible. So you must build it up from foundation, that friendship, so that when you're having your conversation will not be like a family meeting. anymore. It could just be in the car while you are driving, and a conversation just ensues and you are talking. It can be in the house, while you're just there in the kitchen, mommy cooking and the daughter cooking. I see my wife do it a lot. Before you know it, there's already prayer meeting going on, or something is going on between the mommy is talking, using every opportunity, that one finds available to speak, because you don't know when the seed will be sown as to whatever. You don't know the challenge that child will pick that thing from. Except when there's an issue, then you cannot call for, we need to talk. We need to have a conversation. I used to remember those days when the matter becomes very hot and they will have to wake you up in the night and ask you maybe around 12 or 2 a.m. and ask you some deep questions. What's going on? This, da, 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 da. It shouldn't come to that when you already have an ongoing conversations. Those things happen when there are grave issues happening and they want certain answers. But when there is already a conversation going on between yourself and your children, you can just do that. Then another thing again, we must be led of the Holy Spirit. There are certain times that things happen. I am sensitive to know when to talk, when to bring that up, because there are sometimes you think because you are the father, you can just, hey, what happened? Come, this and that. You may not get things like that. God may just guide you, lead you on how to get it. Sometimes we feel that because we are parents, we know it all. No, no, no. Parenting is a divine assignment. Train up a child in the way he should go. It's God that said it. So if God said it, then He will give us the skill for that training. So I believe that there are certain times when we feel that we cannot really pull through, we need to ask God, how do we make this conversation? How do we go through this conversation? I want to tell you one truth again. There are some times that you may not be the one to communicate to your children very well. You may have to go through a counselor or a coach to speak to your children, because there's sometimes your children they may not want to open up to you completely, but they may open up to somebody else. But it should be controlled. If you can have somebody you love, you can open to, you can tell that person, look at what I'm noticing now. Can you just speak, in this direction so that my child can listen to you and let me know what the child feels about this. And you just get feedback from that person later on, and your child will just see you hitting the nail on the head, not knowing that a work has been done externally just to ensure that something gets to you. So it's not just you alone. Parenting is beyond you as a parent. It goes towards, stretching for, because a lot of parents, even abroad, they've come to some certain instances where they meet with counselors. What they heard their child say to the counselor baffles them to say, so this thing is going on under my roof and I'm not aware. And the child has been crying out for somebody to hear him or her, and nobody is listening. So when she found a listening ear, began to pour out, and you begin to wonder, we live under the same roof. The parent wasn't sensitive enough to know that I needed this child to breathe, and let me hear from somebody else what this child feels, how the child feels. And when the child knows that you love her to the extent of that communication, the child is okay. They want to start opening up to you from there on. So I feel that communication with children should be open-ended. Start from friendship, keep on going until there will be a bond. When I heard my children calling me Daddy Billions, they gave me a nickname, Daddy Billions. I knew that okay, I found somewhere around there. They hail me. When they are sitting there hailing me, I are looking for something, or I use that as a means of getting across to them. We can have a conversation. Even when my daughter got to school, that's when I knew that our conversation became sweet, because when I call her, I said, Daddy, you abandoned me. Daddy, you abandoned me. You don't love me anymore, and you don't know you have abandoned me. We'll start talking again. I say, hey, who is that guy that is pulling your leg? Who is that guy? What that guy that be toasting you? Say, Daddy, no guy, no guy be toasting me. I say, you don't want to tell me, Abby? Okay, now I will know. She start telling me, okay, Daddy, there's one boy in civil engineering. The boy just came to tell me that he likes me, and so I say, okay. So from there, we start a conversation again. I say, okay, you see, they will come up and you say why you are there. We start from there. But if I don't pull her leg as to know that you are somewhere now where people will come around, she will not open up. She will not say anything. If you are just like that, hey, how are you? Have your money finished? Everything you want? Okay, I'll send you money. It's not all about money. It's not just that friendship must must continue. If not, you just the child will be doing something that's different. You think that you have your child has gone. So these were skills given to me by the Holy Spirit, because things happened that made me to know that if I go by the way of Lord and Master, like my father did on me, I will lose it. Eh. I remember one day I carried my daughter on my back while in Benin. We're just playing. I just carried her on my back. This the other one said, "Daddy, no, 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 let her pull her down. Let me enter." I'm talking about not that they were small. I'm talking about just December last year, December. So I said, "Hey, come down. Let me enter." My mother was looking at us. She said, Say now, wow, say this enjoy their papa.
Well,
They no enjoy papa like this. So say they climb their papa. They no enjoy papa like this. When my father is coming, he's the lion of the tribe of Judah. Everybody, they will even come and tell you, Ahmed, the papa they come. You will run on you and something. So it's different now. God has to teach skill which we have to deal with these children. If not, if we go by the way we were trained, we will make the same mistake. Our children will make the same mistake we made, whereas it is not so. It ought to be a dialogue, God helping, coach externally, and all of that, all encompassing, depending on to the extent to which you want the conversation to go. Thank you very much.
well, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Very key. So we should not wait for family meetings before we have conversation with our children. Yes, dialogue should be normal in our homes and not preserved for when there are serious issues to be dealt with. Very important. Very important. So we're actually climaxing or getting to the end of this conversation right now. So I'm going to ask Mr. Bello Ahmed. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to ask you for your final words for parents out there. What would you say to parents out there?
Okay.
Advice. What's
All right. I know that I know some parents are really being challenged with their children. I know that it's not rosy everywhere. We've had our own challenges. Be open to learn. Parenting is not just being imparted. Parenting can be learned. You can read books. I have books I've read. I bought some books. I read. I'm even reading one now. Adult. How do you take care of how do you parent children that are in their adulthood? You need to learn. Then you can also look at others whom have gone ahead of you. Watch their lifestyle. Watch the way they deal with their children. I looked at a man. I saw a man while I was growing up. Took care of his children, can beat them. They will come around, talk to his ears, tell him things, certain things in his ear. They will leave their mom and tell certain things in his ears. And I loved that. I loved the communion that was going on. I said, no, I'm going to bring up children. They are going to be my friends. I'm going to love them. You look at people as well. You read, then you pray for God to help you. And whatever skill you have, put it across. And before you know it, you will have the best, of times with your children. God gave us these children, and they will become great in our own eyes. They'll become mighty on the earth. Don't be discouraged. And those of you who are having lovely parenting, congratulations. Congratulations. Remember, your children are not just the one you gave birth to. Other children are there. Whatever words you can put to them, go ahead and put the words across to them. Teach them the ways you feel they can become better, both to the parents and to their society at large. Just be a parent of all. Those days, there was no parent of one. Everybody was your father, everybody was your mother. You do anything wrong, somebody will remind you on the way. So that's what parent is all about. And I see God helping us in Jesus' name.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Bello Ahmed. We have learned a lot today. I personally have learned a lot. I really appreciate you taking out your time to share from your wellspring of wisdom, the experience you have. Thank you so much. We are really grateful. And I believe
Thank
people that have been following this conversation have learned a lot today. We had so much to cover, but we just have to stop and cap it up because of time. So we're grateful, sir. Thank you for joining us in today's conversation. Thank you so much,
Thank
sir. Do have a beautiful night. And regards to the family and to your beautiful daughters.
you.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a beautiful night, sir.
Thank
Bye, sir.
you. Bye-bye.
So we have had it all. We have had a beautiful conversation today, regardless of the technical issues we had when we started. I believe that every one of us have learned something today. It may just be one thing, but I know I've learned something. I'm going to end with this. I'm going to ask us a question that Meg White MA said. She said, what traits and strengths do you want your daughter to develop as she grows? See if these qualities are reflected in how you parent. Very important. The traits, the strengths you want to see in your daughter, check if they are reflected in the way you parent your daughter. It's very important. You can't give what you don't have. And like Mr. Ahmed Bello said, let us know that we need to learn as parents. We don't know it all. We can learn from reading books. We can learn from other parents who are succeeding. We need to know that parenting is an ongoing process and nobody knows it all. I hope you have learned something today. Thank you, everyone that's been following us throughout the conversation. Thank you for bearing with us. You can follow us on our Facebook page, on our Instagram page, it's School of Parenting 1. Follow us. You'll be kept abreast with programs we're having, information, educative write-ups. And I know that as we go on in this process, every one of us will become great parents and we're going to have amazing children. So we're going to watch out for the next conversation. I can't wait to be here with us again. So just keep looking out. The next conversation will be up soon. Thank you so much and have a beautiful night, everyone. Have a wonderful night and keep being excited even as you parent your children. Bye.